So comment, subscribe, dislike, or like. Check out the links in the descriptions for other of my sites, other activities that I'm involved in. Got a whole bunch of Facebook groups you can check out. I play multiple card games, so I do music among other things, so check out the links in the description. This is my set 2 Zamasu Turning the Tide ramp deck. 1 copy of the leader. 4 Super Saiyan 3 Goku Man on Mission. 4 Android 17 Turning Tide. 4 Almighty Dual Roseno. 4 Whis the Resting Intendant. 4 Goku Black Rose. And Imitating the Darkness. Or Inviting the Darkness? Yeah, Inviting the Darkness, sorry. Majin Fire, 4 Majin Fire West Guy. 4 Obuni After Image Slash. 4 Gohan Baby's Minion. 4 Frieza Universe 7 United. 4 Chill's Army Reinforcement. 4 All Too Easy. 4 Raditz Shining Force. 4 Majin Buu Unison. 4 Gotenks Unison. And 4 Super Saiyan 4 Goku Protect of the Earth Unison. So, we want to ramp up some more. I was already, using Majin and Whis, but I decided to add Goku Black because he works with the Zamasu leader as well as a Goku Black leader, but the main thing is he works with a Zamasu leader. So when you play this card, your leader card is Zamasu, add the top card of your deck into your energy. So turn 3 ramp. So something useful obviously is playing this on turn 2, right? Playing this on turn 3 and then playing this on turn 4, right? And that right there will essentially ramp you up 3 cards, which means by turn 5, you definitely should have turn 5 you have 8 energy, 7 for Android 17 Turn Tides, but still have 1 energy left up for whatever you want to have it for. A useful thing about having that extra energy is that if you have All Too Easy in the drop, right, you can use that 1 energy for All Too Easy to be able to play from the drop in case you think you don't win that turn with Turn Tides, but you should, because the whole idea is to set up your opponent to go for game with Turn Tides and a man on a mission, ideally with any of the unisons. Typically, it'll probably be a Goku Protector of the Earth, because you'll use him to stall to get you into your next turn, so that we can turn in the tides, and of course the leader swing, right? You should have the leader, obviously. More likely it would be the Goku Unison. You have Man on a Mission, and you have Turning the Tides, and those be your main attackers. But like I said, if it's the fact that you'll have at least 1 energy up for All Too Easy, and when you swing the leader, you're going to draw a card. More likely it's going to be a blue card, so you'll definitely be able to play All Too Easy just in case of that situation. If you have any of these unisons, if you use their draw abilities, you can replenish your hand. So you won't be without a hand. Typically, when I turn in times, I do tend to, if I don't need to use this card's -2 ability, I'll do its +1 ability, so I can get 1 card from that and 1 card from the leader. So I at least have 2 cards after the Turn in Tides play. So just pointing that out. That's why the importance of having that 1 extra energy. If you drop this on turn 2, drop this on turn 3, drop this on turn 4. This does have the ability that at the end of your opponent's turn, they could potentially ramp. So keep that in mind, but it doesn't matter if they ramp, because the idea is for you to ramp. You're going to get to your win cone sooner than they are. So that's the thing. We're definitely focusing mainly on the ramping. But depending on the situation, ideally you just want to be able to play her on turn 2, play Raditz on turn 3. You want to start as soon as turn 3. You want to start keeping your defenses up. Turn 1, turn 2. You don't worry too much about defense. You can take at least 2 hits, 2 to 3 hits on your first 2 turns. But once you get to turn 3, definitely want to put up your defense like Raditz, Frieza, or even go Baby's Minion. the main thing is you're just trying to make sure you don't take more damage, and get to turn 4, and then depending on your opponent's board state, you can go into a MISCS, right, and ramp some more, or go into a Pageman or a Go Tanks type of play, and build your board up that way. Or you can go the booty route and try to deal your opponent some damage, just so you can get them weak enough. Ironically, ideally, 3 or less life is ideal, but you don't have to go that far. You can KO your opponent. You could take your opponent from 5 to 0 on your turn in the tides turn play, if you play your cards right. So, but the simple aspect of this deck is at least get your opponent down to 4, right? Because once they're down at 4, you swing with Android 17, right? They'll take a damage, so they'll have 3 life left. You swing with this, deal them 2 damage, right? Because they have no cards in hand to combo. So they'll take this double strike crit, and they're not adding the cards to hand, so they took 3 damage and they have no cards in the hands and they have 1 life. And of course, you can swing with the leader or any of your unisons and finish them off. So ideally, if they're at 4, you can kill them off with a man on a mission, turn of the tides, and at least a leader swing, right? But if they have 5 life, then that's where you'll want to have an extra attacker, which will come from a unison. And then you'll want to swing with the leader before you swing with the unison. You swing with the leader, draw a card, and then swing with one of your unisons. And hopefully the card you have has 5k combo power at least, right? And you can just combo with any of your unisons. Ideally, you want any of your 19s or 20k unisons. When you swing, because let's say your opponent has a super combo, if you are 25k, for example, and they do use a super combo, and let's say the super combo doesn't draw, then you do combo, so you'll be at 25k. So 25k to 25k, you'll still hit. But if they do draw, if they draw a 5k combo power, then they can out combo your attack. But at least they were forced to use both cards, not just the super combo and keep the other card in hand. They actually have to use both cards to try to survive a 25k swing. So these are kind of little details you got to think about what your opponent could do, but the idea is to reduce what they can do. So that's what a lot of the cards here do. And obviously, Frieza works in the drop. It's a reusable blocker with barrier, 20k body. You see a lot of the cards in here were above 15k. So got a lot of the ability to apply a lot of pressure, so you don't have to worry about comboing. When you swing with them, you still can, but you don't need to. You can easily apply pressure without comboing, obviously, the no combo strategy. And then, it's easy, works in the drop, just like Frieza works in the drop. So, your unisons, pretty much each one of them has a draw effect, so that's good against hand control, the usual, right? And make sure keep your hands nice and thick. All might do over Zeno, to help you board wipe, just to try to get you to that kill turn, right? Same thing with Goku, the Protector of Earth, trying to get you to the opponent's kill turn. Has the auto, so it has a floodgate ability. Baby's minion has a floodgate ability. So the idea is just to survive turns, right? Just to get to the next turn, get to the next turn, the next turn. That's always the goal. Get to the next turn, so that we can play your plays, do your damage, and get your W's, right? And not much else to say. That's pretty much all the cards. Towards the leader. Yeah, that's an important thing. Typically, I just take hits left and right, but since you are trying to get to a certain turn, at least turn 5, at least turn 5 at the earliest. Trying to do the turning times right. So you want to, take very little damage. Plus, there might be the possibility that your opponent might have some cards. There are some cards that are weaknesses to this leader. So you want to make sure you keep your life high. At least 4 life and above, right? Try to keep it high. Typically, I allow myself to get down to 2 and then I awaken and all that good stuff. But the thing is that could be a bad thing. And having a high life is useful because that comes in handy in case you want to use that life for your Chill's Army reinforcement, for example. So you rather keep your life high. So just try to take at minimum 1 damage a turn. Try to avoid taking more than that. And that's the end of the video.